So I'm Tom Shapiro. I am the CEO of StrataBeat. StrataBeat is a B2B branding, marketing, and web design company in Boston. I started my career in marketing way back in '94. It was actually several years before Google even existed. So '94 was when I built my first website. And very few people had even heard of the web back then. So it was just, this very niche-y type of thing. But yeah, through the years, I've seen a lot of evolution in the digital space. Prior to starting StrataBeat, I was at an agency called iProspect. We were named the #1 SEO company in the entire country twice while I was there. And we grew very rapidly. I was the 85th employee, and by the time I left 5 years later, we were over 700 employees, so a lot of growth. I understand strategy, and I understand what drives people to action. A lot of what we base our marketing and our branding on is either neuroscience or behavioral science or human psychology. So I understand those to a certain degree, and we apply those to whatever we're doing, branding or marketing. Actually, this is my second time. So I wrote a book several years ago called Rethink Your Marketing. And when it came out, I also spoke at State of Search that same year and spoke about some of the principles that were written about in the book, strategies to unleash growth through essentially through lateral thinking. So very, very excited to be back this year. Going to be talking about how to transform your blog into a lead generation engine, how to improve a blog, specifically a B2B blog, so business to business, in driving the reader to action, right? And so it's one thing to have a blog where it attracts a certain amount of traffic, people read it, and then they leave, right? And that's not very useful from an ROI standpoint or from a business standpoint. It doesn't align with business goals. And so what we're going to talk about is, okay, how do you transform so that you get, twice as much traffic, 3 times as much traffic? Because the more traffic that you have, the more qualified traffic you have, the more leads you can generate. So you start there with driving traffic. And then once you have the traffic, and this is where a lot of marketers stop, is they drive the traffic and then they don't spend as much time converting that traffic into leads. There are 9 different frameworks that you can use to transform your blog into a lead gen engine. And the problem is that many companies miss many of these frameworks. If your website performance, if your blog performance has plateaued, or you're just frustrated because you're not achieving the goals that you set out for yourself in the way of lead generation, in the way of conversions, then you should really attend the session, because it's not going to be a bunch of fluff. It's not going to be a bunch of concepts. It's going to be very actionable. You can literally start taking the advice and start applying it to your blog the same day, the next day, that specific week, and start seeing tangible results. And so, yeah, I would encourage anyone who's having a challenge actually generating business results and ROI from their blog, definitely you should attend.